What's up, everybody? I'm Jonathan Sim with Coming Soon, and I would like to welcome you all to the world premiere of Last Breath here in New York City. What does a day on this set look like, and what's the craziest part of really selling the fact that you were in this amount of danger?
I mean, the craziest part of it is for sure to do the fact that we were doing this all practically. We were doing this for real. We were working with all the real equipment, and we had some really, really great people training us. And that was definitely the wildest thing, is that like what you see in this movie is real, and that's what makes it so immersive and so exciting.
Looking back at your incredible career from this movie to everything else that you've been in, what would you say is the scene or the stunt where you felt like you were the most about to gain?
Oh, it's got to be this. It's got to be this, but you know, at the same time, we've done such extensive training that you do feel safe. That's why you do it. That's why you work with the best people. We were fortunate enough to work with those people. So it's definitely the most dangerous, but we were for sure in safe hands. So that helped.
Amazing. Thank you so much for this conversation. It's been so lovely to speak to you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, mate.
When you were adapting this from your documentary, what did you find were the biggest similarities and the biggest differences between a documentary and a narrative film?
In terms of how they're made?
Yes.
Well, I mean, the biggest difference between going from documentary to narrative was, in documentary, you have talking heads, you have interviewees who are telling you what you're looking at and what the characters and people are feeling. But you don't have that in fiction. So when I was at the script stage and I was working with the other writers, it was all about how to get the information across and the emotion across in that feature way. So for me as a documentary maker, that's the biggest step.
Yeah. And because you're so familiar with the true story, I'm wondering how you approach the fictional aspects of this film and what you wanted to take more liberties with versus what you wanted to make sure stayed authentic to what actually happened.
I wanted to keep it as authentic as possible, and that goes all the way back, all the way to think about its emotional arc and what the actual feeling and the sense of camaraderie the team have and all of that. But then when it gets to sort of individual story bits, there were bits where the extensions of truth to allow you to get into the mindset of the characters. So there were all things that could have happened that didn't on that night. So they weren't outrageous things like an oil rig blowing up or something like that. It was all of the world they were in, basically. And it was all to allow you to get into the character's head, basically.
When you were adapting this film from the documentary, what were some of the liberties that you felt like you needed to take when adapting a true story into a fictional one?
Yeah, I mean, you have to stretch it. So we know that the event took about 45 minutes of total time from when the ship started to malfunction to Chris's revival. So you kind of pump up the tension and other characteristics. I mean, the North Sea is known to be one of the hardest locations in the world to navigate. It's rough no matter what, 20-foot swells every day. So we kind of amplify some of the outside chaos, but then we focus as much as we can on the characters. I mean, really at the end of the day, you don't need to know anything about diving to love this movie. You know, it's really about, you know, that motivating factor that's deep inside of us that allows us to do these incredible, courageous, you know, tests.
Yeah, I'm wondering if you could speak a little bit more to that and how you were able to make this movie not just for divers, but for something that can resonate with audiences everywhere, or maybe not familiar with diving before.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's human endurance. You know, it's like if you watch a movie about Everest or you watch Apollo 13, you know, it's this gumshoe quality that human beings have to survive against all the elements. So I think that, you know, anybody can come see Last Breath, and you'll be captured by kind of the intensity. I mean, it moves really, really quickly. But I think that all these things are qualities that we all have inside of each other. And I think that that's reassuring, you know, to see and to visualize.
Amazing. And would you say that there was anything that you wrote down in the script that you were surprised with when you translated to screen? Maybe it was something that you were particularly interested in seeing, or there's something that perhaps didn't end up looking exactly like you wanted it to look?
I think I was so impressed by the underwater footage. Like, I didn't really you know, like The Abyss, some of the movies, they're pretty amazing, but you know, I had no idea really what the quality of actually filming at that depth, you know, illuminating the characters so you can see Woody's face, you can see Cole's face. I was impressed by the technical aspects for sure.